Hi, I'm Evan English from Old English Outfitters. I'm here today to do our first product review on the Springfield Armory XDE. We're here today to talk about the Springfield Armory XDE. The XDE from Springfield is their newest introduction in the XD line. Now, Springfield Armory's been around for quite some time. The Springfield Armory that we're talking about today has been around since 1974, but the name Springfield, being stamped on military firearms, has been done since well before the Civil War. I think the earliest versions were just shortly after the Revolutionary War. So U.S. Springfield referred to the U.S. Armory that was located at Springfield, Illinois. But that's not who we're talking about today, because Springfield Armory, as we know it today, those are all shipped out of Geneseo, Illinois. So it's still Illinois, but it's a different model, different company, still the same name. Today we're going to talk about the Springfield Armory XDE. The XDE is highlighting the reinvention of the hammer. I'm going to show you, please notice the hammer on the Springfield Armory XDE. We're going to open it so that we show safety at the same time, but the Springfield Armory XDE, you can see by the fact that the hammer has stayed back that this firearm is going to fire from the double action first shot, single action every shot after that. That is the reinvention of the hammer. Now this is kind of a hot button for Springfield, because on the first edition they shipped them in a red toolbox with a serial numbered special edition Springfield Armory hammer. Seems like they're trying to drive something home or hit us over the head with it there. So the hammer is the key feature that differentiates this pistol from some of their other highly popular models. Some of those models that we're going to compare to today would be the Springfield Armory XD Mod 2. Notice no hammer. And the Springfield Armory XDS. Also, no hammer. So let's talk about the features of the XDE. First and foremost, as we have already pointed out at least 5 times since we started this video, the fact that this pistol now has a hammer. Some of the features that are pretty standard on Springfield Armory pistols is usually some ambidextrous functions. So on this particular pistol, the ambidextrous function, the first one we see is the magazine release. Magazine release on this pistol works from either side. So I can press here to release the magazine, or on the other side to release the magazine. Left-handed shooter, right-handed shooter makes no difference here. The other ambidextrous function is the safety. This safety works up for safe, down for fire, and it works off of either side of the pistol. It also has another function, which is the decocking function of the safety. So when I press down on that safety, it decocks the pistol, but allows me to be at the ready as soon as I have decocked, in case I were to need to defend myself again quickly. So we can drop that hammer to a safe mode in a very short order. So what we see here with this pistol is a longer reach on the first shot. This is kind of a flip of a coin. Some people love this feature because you're less likely to accidentally discharge a double action trigger pull. The weight of that double action trigger pull is usually over 8 pounds, 9 pounds. And from that point, you are not going to set that off accidentally. So that long trigger pull requires far more effort. But each shot, as the slide functions back and forth, each shot sequentially after that first shot will be a single action, which is much shorter and much lighter for each shot afterwards. Other features of this pistol are the grip zone texturing we've seen that on the XD Mod 2 already. It's got it on the back, it's got it on the front. Each pistol comes with 2 magazines. One will be slightly shorter, and this is the longer magazine with the spacer, which allows it to fit your hand just slightly better. But the other one, as I've had it in my hand, doesn't feel short. Usually the one with the compact magazine, that feels pretty short. So the other features on this pistol, pretty standard for Springfield, would be the fiber optic front sight, 2-dot rear sight. I'm going to do some comparing now. So as you've done this, I've checked all of these in front of you. They haven't moved since we started. I'm going to be picking them up, and they are facing me. But as we're looking at the size of the XD Mod 2, you'll find that they're very similar in size, but the Mod 2 is a little bit thicker. So as they're thicker, it also holds a few more shots. You'll also find that the bore axis, and I'm not going to point the pistol at you, the bore axis is very similar. They're not too far off from the bottom of the gun to the top, but the XD Mod 2 is cut up a little higher on the beaver tail. And that would be to accommodate the hammer mechanism back here and the safety. So we've got these two features, slightly thicker on the Mod 2. Compare that to the XDS, which is going to be thinner. XDS is going to be just probably around 3/4 of an inch thick. It's going to be their smallest, thinnest slimline pistol for concealed carry. So this XDE fits somewhere in the middle between those other two models. It's got some great features if you like the old school double action, single action approach to it. They have dehorned and taken all the edges off the outside of it, so it will be easily concealable, easy to come out from concealment. Though it's got a hammer spur, it's also well-rounded. It's not going to snag on your clothes easily. Now we're going to take it outside with Dean. He's one of our Old English team members and an accomplished shot. He's going to walk you through the safe loading and operation of the firearm, go through some of the features out on the range, and put a few rounds through it so you can see how it works.
Alright, so here we're going to be illustrating the safety and decocking feature that I talked about earlier. As you can see, we have a safe and empty gun, and from this shot we have a safe and empty range as well. There is no one in front of the muzzle of the firearm. So first we're going to start with our full magazine, seated all the way into the firearm with our palm. Again, make sure you tap that in so it's firmly locked in place, and we're going to release the slide with this button right here. Thumb on, and there it goes. Now you can see the loaded chamber indicator is up, indicating that there is 1 round loaded into the firearm. It is ready to fire right now, and the magazine still has 8 rounds in it. Here we can also see the hammer is cocked back. Now what you can do is put the gun on safe and carry it cocked and loaded how you would a 1911. However, since this is a double and single action trigger, we don't have to do that. The safer option is to put the gun on fire there, point it into safe direction, such as at the ground like I'm doing now, especially if you're loaded at home. One thing to think about is make sure your house does not have a basement. Load over solid ground, so if the gun were to accidentally go off, it's going into the dirt, not into another portion of your house. Here we can see we take this lever down past the firing option, and the hammer releases. Now if we take a look at this gap right here, right in front of the hammer, you can see it does not actually contact the firing pin. That mechanism just releases the tension from the spring. Alright, so here we are putting the first couple of mags downrange with our XDE. This is an accuracy test of the first and second action pull from the draw. This was shot at self-defense distance, which is about 8 to 10 yards. We also get a different angle just so you can see the sight alignment and again the muzzle rise. Alright, so here are the results from that test. Again, that was drawing from the holster. You see there, our first shot is a little low. I only say that because I'm a perfectionist. That's still a really solid body hit on the abdomen. And that's pretty normal for double action triggers. You'll notice there's no side-to-side movement on the shot. It landed right in the center of the torso. So that wasn't trigger jerk, but maybe a shot anticipation. The rest of those are some really solid hits right in the vital area of the chest. Next, we did a focus test on the trigger bowl, both the double action first pull and then every consecutive single action shot after that. The first pull you can see there cocks the hammer all the way back, and then releases it. After that, we have a short reset on the trigger. And also here, we're looking at muzzle rise. So you can see there on the horizon, it's a relatively flat shooting gun, which was very pleasant for me as far as follow-up shots go.
So the question you're probably asking is, what do we really think of this gun? I think that's easiest to break it down in pros and cons. First off, it's a solid carry gun. It's got some great features that would make it a viable option for anybody looking for a CCW. It's a great crossover between striker and single action hammer. Because that trigger doesn't stack up, it makes it a very smooth first shot. It has some good features of both the XD Mod 2 and the XDS. It's got the grip zone texturing, which makes it a very pleasant to the hand, but very grippy. It's also very slim line, so it fits close to your body in a holster. Controls are very easy to operate. Some of them, two of them from both sides, whether you're right or left-handed or whether you're shooting weak hand. You have an ambidextrous magazine release and an ambidextrous safety decocker that works from either side of the gun. It's also reasonably flat shooting for a high bore axis gun or a higher bore axis gun than, say, a Glock or an MP Smith & Wesson. There's not a lot of muzzle rise. You saw in the shooting clips that it's very flat shooting. It does what it's supposed to do when you're pulling the trigger. The cons, I already kind of mentioned it, is that it's got a slightly higher bore axis. Not too tough to get used to. It works very well. It just takes a little bit. If you've been shooting a low bore axis gun, you've got to do a little bit of shooting to get used to it. And who can complain about pulling the trigger a few extra times? Well, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw here today, like, comment, subscribe. I'm Evan English. Come back and see us next week.